Hello, hi, and welcome everybody to another edition of the Digital Arts Show. I'm Jim Sirianni, your host, and this show is part of the Digital Arts Festival that is produced by Center Stage Theatre here in Santa Barbara, California. The Digital Arts Festival shows stream nightly at 7 p.m. now through April 30th, and you can find out more on the Center Stage website, centerstagetheater.org, and click on the blog tab. And the purpose of the Digital Arts Festival is to create an outlet for artists of all kinds to share their work. And we will have dance, theater, music, film, visual arts, poetry, storytelling, and comedy, of course, and much, much more. And again, you can learn more on the Center Stage website, centerstagetheater.org, and click on the blog tab, and it'll take you to all the fun events that we've been doing, all the past interviews that we've done so far, and today's interview. And today, we will chat with two moms, and they are a musical comedy duo called MommyTonk, and I'm very excited to get to know more about them and what they do. A little bit of info on them. MommyTonk is based out of LA, Los Angeles. These are two saucy moms who blend their ability to harmonize and curse perfectly in a honky-tonk style. Shannon Noel and Stacie Burrows weave their irreverent stand-up comedy and heartfelt storytelling into the prettiest, filthiest music that you have ever heard. And I'm so excited to get to know them and to chat with them today. And ladies, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Hi. Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you.
It's my
Thank
pleasure.
you, Jim.
Oh, absolutely. My pleasure. So let me ask you the first question right off the bat. Tell us about MommyTonk and how it came to be. How did it all come together?
Okay. So about 10 years ago, Shannon and I were both performing in a show called Expressing Motherhood, which is like a moth-style storytelling show with motherhood as a theme. And some of the pieces were heavy and dark and just gut-wrenching. But Shannon and I, total strangers, were the only two comedic pieces in that ensemble cast. So Shannon got on stage and did the funniest monologue I'd ever seen in my entire life, wearing nothing but a breast pump and silk pajama pants. And I died. So I was like, oh my God, who is this woman? I couldn't stop laughing. And so then during the run of that show, we sort of became soulmates. It was just obvious that we needed to know each other and to be very close friends for a very long time. So we started writing songs, I guess a couple years later, because we were frustrated moms. We were just tired, and we had both had previous lives as artists and comedians and writers and performers. But then when we became moms, we were like, wait a second, that person still needs to exist in the world. And thank God I found Shannon, because the two of us sort of pulled our strengths together, and now we created a monster.
MommyTonk, I love it. And so Shannon, tell me a little bit about your background in comedy and music and all that.
Well, let's see. I grew up in Kentucky, and I went to college for arts administration, and then I started touring the country doing children's theater, actually, which was wonderful. Long story short, I ended up in Los Angeles and studied at Second City. So my background is mostly in improv and sketch and musical comedy on the Second City stage. And then, like Stacie said, after I became a mom, I had a friend reach out to me and say, hey, you should, submit to the show Expressing Motherhood, because I was a writer and doing kind of essay shows as well, like The Moth and things like that. And so that's when I performed in Expressing Motherhood with this character piece. And just like Stacie said, she walked on stage and I was like, oh my God, thank God. My soul sister comedy mate is right here. And she's a mom and she has two boys. And I had one boy and one boy in my belly. And we just, I was pumping backstage, but we were drinking wine. So I knew instantly we were going to be best friends. And so my background is mostly in improv and sketch. I did a lot of theater. I used to do commercials in LA. I've done some producing and assistant producing, and so that's kind of my my guitar playing is for fun and enough to accompany us. I've always like traveled with one and just played on it, but it's always been the lyrics first, and then okay, if I can throw an ED and a C chord to this, great. And I will add, and I know Stacie will talk on this too, but I also used to sing in the church choir when I grew up. When I was growing up, I was in the church choir for years, and also the choir at school. And so choir's been a big part of my life, and still is with my partner, because that's the thing we love.
We started a new kind of choir, though.
Yeah, it's a new
very different choir.
Different type of choir.
Church choir.
Right,
practice is usually in a bar somewhere, and it's great.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, we started writing songs probably, I don't know, 8 years ago or 7 years ago, and we wrote 2 songs. One, a love song for each of our husbands. I won't tell you the title because even the titles are too offensive. And then once we did that, we were just sort of on a roll. So we just used the daily frustration of being a mom and threw it into comedy and music. And then Shannon had this brilliant idea to bring a band on. So when we perform our live 90-minute comedy concert, we are backed by the ASSLESS Chaps, which is their band name. And they are jazz musicians by trade, but they play bluegrass Americana for us. And so we have an upright bass, fiddle, and percussion. And it's something.
It's wow. Oh my God. I would love to see one of your shows. That sounds amazing.
Oh, well, it's funny. We were talking about bringing our show back to Santa Barbara right before the world got shut down.
Right.
So we'll get a chance to see it when the world opens back up.
Exactly. Now, so
or before online.
Yeah. Now, so let me ask you about the music. What is your process for writing music? Is it a solo thing, or do you collaborate? How does that process work for you guys?
Well, it's really both ways. We do it both ways. In the beginning, we would each write a song, and then we would get together and we would fine tune it. We would punch up the jokes of the other, and the other one would punch up this joke, and then we would try to find a melody. In the beginning, we were just using guitar, and then Stacie added on the piano because she's amazing at it. And so that's one way. The other way is we'll get together and we'll have a theme that we'll just start venting like people do. And there may be some cocktails involved. I don't know.
I'm not much of a drinker.
And we'll just start venting about our current situation, like she said, like what's frustrating us, what is making us happy, all the stuff, because we're raising children in LA and we're both from the South, and it's incredibly different. And we're both married, and that has its own set of
blessings,
challenges, blessings.
Yes.
So sometimes we'll get together and we'll hit on something we're both really passionate about at the moment, and then we'll just start riffing lyrics, and then we'll pick up and either Stacie will sit down at her piano, or I'll get my guitar, and we'll just start to create a melody, and then it'll just kind of come organically. And over the next few sessions, we'll get it to a place where we think it's ready to present, and then over the next several shows, it'll get fine-tuned even more. Sometimes we'll cut a verse, sometimes we'll add a verse. Yeah, so I think we come at it from both ways. Is that right? Would you say that, Steve?
Yeah. I think it's great now, though, because Shannon and I have been working together so long that we now share a brain. We're a two-headed monster with one brain, and that is really working for us. But we kind of finish each other's sandwiches, as it were. I'm kidding. No, it's great to have someone who's so like-minded, and her brand of humor is as twisted as mine. So if it makes us laugh, then that's what we go with. And we try really hard to get right up to the point of going too far, but never crossing. We don't want to be offensive. We don't want to piss people off. We just want to, entertain people and give moms and dads just a little, just like a nod to say, you're not alone. We've all had that day that you're having, and we wrote a song about it. In fact, we have a whole album of songs.
Oh, wow.
Tune in. Yeah.
Can people purchase your album? Is it available
you can
online?
stream it even. It's called Nailed It, and there it is. Nailed It. And it's available, on our website, mommytonk.com, or you can find it through any streaming service, Apple, Spotify, whatever. It is not intended for children
whatsoever
or thin-skinned people, because we love language. And we use colorful language.
on
I'll
all
put it
aspects of language, all those fun words that are very colorful. And
I
so,
mean, when you're harmonizing a filthy word, it's not filthy anymore. It's
yeah,
beautiful.
exactly. It takes the
right.
power away.
Right.
That's so true, because I've seen it with other comedians who, when they use, 4-letter words or whatever, and it's in music, you're like, oh my God, this is
I know.
it's so funny, as opposed to
Yeah.
them just saying it outright, speaking the word.
Right.
Couple of things that I wanted to remind our viewers of, to give out all your information here. If while you're watching this interview, if you want to check out some of their pages on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Well, Facebook, it's MommyTonk, and then Instagram and Twitter, it's @MommyTonk. And of course, their website is mommytonk.com. Again, that's mommytonk.com, and then @MommyTonk on Instagram and Twitter. And then, so what I want to ask you, ladies, is how are you adjusting to your process now that you can't be together? How are you creating in this new Corona world? It must be difficult.
Well, you're making a huge assumption that we're adjusting.
Oh.
I feel like I feel a little frustrated by not being able to access, well, Shannon and I are great at working together in very short periods of time because both of our kids are school age. So normally we would have like, okay, my kid's in school from this time to this time, so let's meet from 10 to 1 or 10 to 2. We can crank out a song, a video, write a whole show. Like, we're so efficient. But now we don't even have that time because no one is away from their family, and B, we can't be together. So it is frustrating. However, we are experimenting with ways to still create content. And we did a video recently of a song that we wrote in quarantine called Never Been So Close. And it's a song for couples in quarantine. And we actually shot a video. So I shot my part at my house. I sent Shannon the audio. She was able to sing to my piano playing and shoot her half of the of the song, which is an alter ego called Daddy Tonk. You just got it. It's ridiculous. But it was amazing because Shannon is really good at editing and her husband also is an editor. So I don't know how to do any of that, but I just sent her my parts and then they shot her parts and it was phenomenal. It turned out pretty good.
It did. I saw it the other day. I was watching the video like, oh, this is fabulous.
It's ridiculous. And, okay, so here's the funny thing that I'm experiencing or that I'm kind of seeing. Like, I love the late night comedians. I watch all the late night shows. I love Conan. I love Stephen Colbert. I love John Oliver. I love all of them, Jimmy Fallon, all of them. And I love the fact that now the playing field has been completely leveled because they are now reduced to the only tools that Shannon and I ever have had in the 10 years of performing. We have had an iPhone. We have had whatever lighting we could find. We only have our minds and our performance. Do you know what I'm saying?
You don't have the full studio audience with.
No.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of fun to watch when you break it down to the basic, elements. A comedian is either going to be funny or they're not going to be funny. And so it's been fun for me to watch it all. And they're doing great. I love it. And I'm actually appreciating some of the late night, especially Conan. His interviews are outrageous because they can't do anything else but just talk and be funny. So I love it.
Right. Do you find it difficult though in this world of having to do everything on video and you don't have an audience to react to the comedy? Do you find that a little difficult because you don't know?
Not at all, baby. Let me tell you who
good.
Shannon is my audience and I am Shannon's audience. Okay.
Well, there you go.
So I swear to God, she is the funniest human being. Really, honestly, we would probably be doing this if we didn't have any audience or any followers or anybody.
No one makes me laugh harder and nowhere do I feel more confident. Like, that's the thing. Like, we are so like-minded, and now, like Stacie said, we share a brain that she'll start something and I'm instantly just laughing because I know where it's going. I peed my pants already. I'm like, yep, that's the line.
Yeah.
So, well, and that's what.
Obviously, we're not going to say no if somebody hands us a huge check and says, "Here's a live audience for you."
Right. Let me think about that let me think about that. Yeah. Well, and the thing of it is as long as you're creating for each other, that's all that really matters because everything else will just fall into place.
Well, this is the great thing, though. A few times a year, we do our live show, which is, like I said, an hour and a half. It's live music and comedy, all original. And right on February 23rd, we filmed our comedy concert at the 3 clubs in Hollywood. Now, this was before the whole world shut down. And it was like, everything was perfect. We sold out, live audience. It was on fire, and it was so energetic, so lovely. And I'm so glad we captured it in film, because it's just a reminder of how just joy-filled everyone was that night before everyone started worrying about all the problems that we're all worrying about now. But that was great. So when we have a live audience, oh yeah, that's the jam. We love the live audience.
Now, I understand that you've had some shows that had to be canceled. Are they postponed, or will you be able to move them, or what's going to happen with all that?
Well, the upcoming shows that we had were produced by other producers, and we were a part of the show. So often we'll go in and we'll perform like a mini set, like 10 or 20 minutes. We'll either headline a comedy show, or we'll drop in and do a 10-minute set. Or like we mentioned before, we're a part of a show called Expressing Motherhood, and we do that a lot, and we do it all over the country. So we had a show at Comedy Central Stage in March. That was our first show to be canceled. It was part of a group called Lady Biker Gang, and they're like a variety comedy show produced by a woman named Julia Wackenheim and her partner. And that was our first time going to be on that show, and we were going to headline that. So that was a bummer. I think everything is postponed, but now it's indefinite when it will be back. We were supposed to be in Vermont today. We were supposed to arrive, I think, Wednesday night. We were supposed to have rehearsal on Thursday and open. Is today Friday? Oh my God. Today's Friday, right?
Yeah.
We were supposed to
I just call it fill in
tonight.
the blank day.
Yeah.
I know, it's still in the blank day. Yeah, so we were supposed to be in Vermont tonight and tomorrow night for Expressing Motherhood in Burlington. And that got postponed till October. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that will happen. And then the next show that got
Boston.
Canceled for now. I don't think they've reset a date, but they're hoping to. Was we were going to be in Boston for Mother's Day, also doing Expressing Motherhood, and then we generally come back to LA and do another Mother's Day show at a bar here in town or a club or something, because of course Mother's Day is our big weekend.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Now, so you've toured all over the country. Tell us about that experience. How has that been for you both?
Well,
Shannon.
Stacie, you want to take this one?
Okay. It is amazing. It's the most amazing experience, first of all. It is exhausting, though, second of all, because, bands that travel with like roadies and support crew, they're so lucky, but we don't have that. So it's me and Shannon and the ASSLESS Chaps, and we're lugging in all the gear, and we're setting up, we're doing our own sound check. It's crazy, but so rewarding to go to a town where you don't know anyone, and there's a line around the corner trying to get in to see your show because they've heard of us maybe online. We don't have a ton of followers, but it's just kind of like we're this underground cult following. And when we come to town, they're like, oh my God. And it's because we're relatable. We just tell you what we went through and hope that it resonates with what you're going through and you find comfort and whatnot. And it's just amazing. Like MommyTonk tours are, they're amazing.
Oh, that's great. That's
especially
super.
When you start your tour with a bourbon tasting on the Bourbon Trail and you go on a tour.
Oh, nice.
Distilleries, because if you travel with there'll be bourbon.
There will be bourbon.
If you're doing a show in Kentucky, you have to do a bourbon tasting.
Absolutely. Now, what
time with the devil?
Part of the South are you both from?
I'm from Texas.
And then
I'm from Kentucky.
Okay.
Kentucky.
Got it. And
so we come together over things like grits and biscuits. So as long as there's grits and biscuits, we're like, okay, and bourbon.
We're fine.
Have you seen those videos? There's 4 or 5 Southern women and stuff that Southern women say. Have you seen those videos?
Awesome. Yes.
Do you relate to those?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. They are hilarious. I love them.
Bless their heart. Yeah.
Yeah. Bless their heart. Yeah. I love that. Bless her heart.
We have a song called Bless Your Heart, but we can't sing it for you because once again, it's filthy.
Oh no. Well, this is the perfect time to remind everybody that they can, now can we hear or see some of your stuff on your website?
Absolutely. Yes.
Nice.
So our website is linked to our YouTube channel. And like I said, we've been making content for that channel for years. And we have characters that we do called Daddy Tonk. Sometimes they make appearances. Sometimes we have full-blown video shoots that we did. There's one called Hot Bum, where Shannon falls in love with the guy on the corner. And then there's a lot of live footage from our live shows and just stuff that Shannon and I shoot together on an iPhone. It's silly, it's simple, but it's entertaining.
And you do all of it on an iPhone or a smartphone?
Oh,
it's all on.
Almost entirely all of it.
That's cool.
The Hot Bum was produced, so that had some actual cameras involved. But
and again, if you want to jot this down, those of you watching, their website is mommytonk.com. And you can also find them on Facebook, MommyTonk, and then Instagram and Twitter at MommyTonk as well. And then, so I had some questions I wanted to ask you both. I hope you don't mind. I have what I call random getting to know you questions.
Okay.
So, and I'll ask you, and for both of you to answer the question. So this will just be for fun. If there was a sandwich named after you, what would be on it?
Oh, Shannon, I mean, mine would just be cheese.
Just cheese, stack of cheese.
Yeah, I'm just cheesy. No, I don't know. A ham and cheese sandwich, probably, because that's me.
Ham and cheese?
Hammy and cheesy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hammy and
That's
cheesy.
good. That's good. Oh, Lord, what am I going to be then? I think mine might have to be like Tabasco sauce then.
A Tabasco sauce sandwich?
Like
just
a
Tabasco
spicy
sauce?
sandwich.
Ooh, yeah.
Dipped in bourbon.
Sounds delicious.
That sounds really good.
Orange juice cake covered in bourbon with a little Tabasco, which doesn't taste good, but those flavors.
I will
really
say,
sweet, full of alcohol, and very spicy.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's like, I would say the Monte Cristo probably needs to be renamed because you know Monte Cristo, have you had one of those?
Yeah.
It's like a club sandwich that's dipped in batter and fried and then sprinkled with powdered sugar and
Oh,
syrup.
good.
Yes.
I love those sandwiches.
That's the Stacie.
The jelly. Oh, God.
I could be a tuna melt. I'm just kidding. I only say that because that is my favorite sandwich.
I do like a tuna melt.
Oh, tuna melt. Yeah, I
on
love tuna
Third
melts
in
too.
LA has the best one.
Right. What is something you like that most people don't?
I'm filtering here. I'm filtering. Oh, God. What is something that I like that most people do not like?
I know.
What?
Salt on my watermelon.
Oh, that's good.
What on your watermelon?
Salt.
Oh, salt
on my watermelon.
You like that?
It's a Southern thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Southern thing. Oh, God. What is something that I like that most people don't like? God. I don't.
New Edition, the band.
What's that?
New Edition, the band.
No. I do like cheesy harmony. Like, I'm not afraid to say that I like Hanson Mbop. I still think that song stands the test of time.
I agree. I think that song does,
great song.
It's a great song. Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
I like bands, I like harmony, and I like cheesy dance moves.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. That's great. Well,
Stacie
you know what?
and I both like Christian songs.
Okay.
That one time we broke out into this one random
Friends are friends forever.
Yeah, we just broke out into that song. It's a youth group song, and I started singing it, or she did, and then we both joined in, and we were like, "Wait, you know this song? How do you're the only other person in LA that knows this song?"
Yeah, Michael W. Smith. Yeah, taking us way back to the time before we became a Filthy Mom comedy band.
Oh my gosh. Well, I wish we could keep talking forever. I could talk to you both, for forever, but we do have to wrap this up. But I just want to thank you both for joining us today, and good luck with everything in the future. And pray and keep fingers crossed that everything goes back to normal and you can tour again.
Absolutely. And we'll let you know when we go to Santa Barbara, because we want you there.
Yeah,
You'll
yeah,
never
absolutely.
look at the same again.
Totally. And again, to learn more about MommyTonk, you can find them on Facebook, MommyTonk, and then Instagram and Twitter, of course, it's at MommyTonk, and the website, mommytonk.com. And to learn more about Center Stage, their website is centerstagetheater.org, and click on the blog to watch all the videos that we've posted so far, centerstagetheater.org. And to learn more about me, you can go to find me on Facebook and on Instagram at Jim on the Air. And I'm over there as well. And on YouTube, Jim Suriani, Sirianni. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, ladies. It was wonderful meeting you both.
Thank you.
And good luck with everything.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, and thanks again.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Be safe.
You're welcome. Yes,
See you
be
later,
safe. Stay healthy.
Wash your
Bye
hands.
for now.